the Nathan Pinnacle 4-liter hydration pack. I'm going to give a product review of this hydration vest. Um, Obviously, you see I got it fully loaded right now. That way I can show you what all I have in it. This is the third hydration pack that I have from Nathan. I've been a big supporter of them for the last 6-7 years since I started ultra running. I found like they fit me the best. This vest is no exception to that rule. It's got a lot of storage for me, from anything from my marathon distance trail runs to my 100-milers, stuff like that. I find I have enough room in this vest, the 4-liter alone, to last me for those 100-milers or 50Ks or 50-milers, whatever the case may be, and in between those aid stations, and being able to have a draw bag and stuff like that. So this to me is the perfect size, like liter wise. I know they have like a 12-liter as well. I don't think I need that much gear or accessories in PA. Maybe if I'm doing like a 200, I might want one of those, but a 4-liter is plenty for me. As you see right away, I have the two 20-ounce flasks in the front. I actually have my bladder fully filled at the back, full 2 liters, I think, or it might be 1.8. Forget what the bladder is. It's either 1.8 or 2 liters, filled with water, and I got a couple other things in the back as well, along with my trekking poles. I got my collapsible cup just hanging off of a strap. Normally really don't have a real good place for it. Just preference that I put it on right there, but I gotta watch because I end up opening this up once in a while during a race. So water's coming out. Realistically, because I keep it on that little carabiner, I'm probably just gonna snatch into there, so it stays in place. You'd really have to, try to tear it off to really for it to come out of place. The one thing about Nathan vests or hydration packs in general, I'll show you real quick before I finish the review, is I always feel like the water bottles themselves, to keep them straight a little bit more, like on this Nathan vest where the flasks are, there's 2 little tabs, one on each side. I always like to put a string across. I just feel like having this extra third string across keeps things more straight up and down, instead of allowing things to like fold back, especially when the water gets drank a little bit. Things start to like go towards the armpits, and I want things more straight up and down on my chest. So I always do add a little bit of a string. I hope Nathan comes up with something like this as like a third string or an attachment that you can buy, because I'm just using a string with a little bread tie on the end, so that way I can readjust it as I breathe. One little quick tip: when I'm running up hills and stuff like that, sometimes I do open one up. Like I usually open the bottom one up and not the top, because the top really doesn't do nothing because it's more in the rib cage area. But the bottom one, I do open it up a little bit more. Since there is 2 straps, it's very easy to open it up so I can breathe a lot more. So when I'm running up those hills and I'm really sucking in the oxygen and stuff like that, it helps me breathe a lot easier. Such as a little tip for this vest itself. As you see in this front pocket, it's very nice. Got a lot of room. I had just 2 gloves in there. There was still plenty of room left. With the pockets, with the flasks themselves, there's, even though when they're full, there's still a lot of storage that you can shove stuff down in. No matter what it may be. You probably got a good couple ounces and stuff like that. So maybe if you have like a little pill bottle, where you're doing those like smelling salts or something, like portable smelling salts, you can shove down in there. Maybe a couple gels. There's plenty of room in there even when they're full. But then what I like about this vest compared to other years is this year they actually have zipper pockets on both sides. In years past, it was only one zipper. Then they had some pockets up here. This year, they redesigned this vest a little bit more, so you actually now have two zipper pockets to shove shit in, and they're waterproof pockets themselves. So no matter what size you choose, you could stick your phone in. Whereas other years, it always was on your left-hand side, and this was just basically useless over here. It was the extra pocket here, but there was nothing on this side except for like your flask pocket and the pocket here. And then they had just a couple little pockets up here. Well, this year, again, there's two full pockets coming down the side, so you could have your phone on this side, or you could have your phone on this side this year. I like to mix it up a little bit during a race because after a while, the phone does rub you because it is actually behind the flask, so it's like tight up against you, so you gotta actually watch what you put in the pockets. You don't want nothing that's gonna like jab you in the chest the whole race, or it's gonna like be a lot of pressurized against you, because since the flasks are on the outside, they do put pressure onto those pockets, so whatever's in your pockets you are gonna feel within your chest. That is the one downfall about this vest and the way it's designed. I feel like the soft flasks should actually be against your chest on both sides, and then the pockets for your phone and the store stuff should actually be on the outside of those. Again, just because you don't want to be jabbed with whatever you keep in your pockets, at least I don't. I notice that type of thing, so I always got to put flatter stuff in these two pockets. Whereas if I had the soft flasks tight up against my body and the pockets on the outside, I could jam some other things that might be a little bit more jaggy, but I actually need sooner in a race. So like a headlamp or something like that, I can't put a headlamp in these two front pockets that are zippers because it's going to poke at my chest and it's going to really annoy me. I mean, there's plenty of room in the two fronter pockets, but they're only held on by little Velcro patches, and I'm not going to put a headlamp in there and have it bounce out onto the ground. So I want that secure protection from a zipper. So that's why I'm saying hopefully next year they make the soft flasks tighter against the vest and have the zipper pockets actually on the outside if they can do that. I know some other vests do it that way. I'm not sure when it comes to bouncing how that would play out. Because I haven't tried those vests, so that might be a bounce factor. But either way, you can store a lot in these pockets. I'll just show you real quick. I have some batteries in there, my squirrel nut butter, some hydration tablets, my wet wipes in that pocket. And again, I didn't notice any of that stuff pressing up against my chest because it's more flat. I had a baggie, course map, elevation chart, and that was about it for this pocket because I was actually going to stick my phone in there. But in this pocket on the right hand side, you got your whistle that, I'm not going to blow it real bad, but got your whistle on that side. It's always nice to have that whistle. Some races require you to have a whistle in case you get hurt, and you can blow it so people know where you're at. So that's always a good feature that Nathan's always put in their vests. Now, for this vest itself, again, they took out the top pockets that were here. I think both sides had zippers, in previous years, which is where I usually stash some of my hydration tablets and like wet wipes were always up in this way. Which is actually a nice feature this year that they're not up here. The reason why I say that is because the straws for soft flasks went up pushing up against there, and you could hear it making noise the whole time, so that was kind of annoying. So I'm kind of glad that they got away from putting the two zipper pockets up here, because like I don't know if you ever wore a Nathan vest before, but the straws, like once you started getting a little sweaty and the sweat started coming through the fabric, like you could always hear like a squeaky sound coming from the straw rubbing on the stuff that you had in the pocket. So with that, without the pockets being up there, you eliminate that. But it also eliminates some little bit of storage. But I think this vest itself has more storage overall than, say, like the Vapor Crawl 1 and 2 that I had in the past. I just feel like it's more functional because, again, the 2 zipper pockets now allow you to actually put a lot more in there if you find stuff that's flat. Obviously, on the straps in the front, you got that little magnetic piece that's built in for the magnetic piece for your straw, for your hydration bladder. This vest, when I bought it, actually came with the 2 20-ounce flasks. It didn't come with a bladder, that was extra, but I've had one from a previous vest, so I'll just have it filled up for this. But again, it's always nice because that magnet's pretty strong, as you can see. So if you're running, you don't have to worry about that coming off. Trying to think about the front here. You still got the straps on either side, so you do have the option which way you're going to put your hydration bladder straw coming down. Yeah, show you there. There's the hole there and the hole there. I mean, granted, if you're going to use the shoulder straps, whatever side you choose, you're going to have to share with your flask straws. But not that that's really a big deal. Unless you're one of those people that don't put it through the strap. I do. I personally recommend that you do as well, because it keeps it from bouncing and getting in the way as you run. So like if you didn't have it in there, the straw itself might come over in your arm, so as you're swinging you might bump into it a bunch. So as long as you have it in this little stirrup or strap, whatever you want to call it, it's going to keep it tighter to your chest and your inner body, so you're not worrying about it when you're running. I'll show you this real quick before I actually take the back, the vest off, to show you more of the back. But this year, at least for this vest, it's got like a pocket. I think they call it the kangaroo pocket or whatever. It's actually made for poles. I'm not necessarily good with it yet because I've only tried to do it a couple times. But either way, unlike vests in the past that Nathan had, it wasn't very easily accessible to put your poles, take them in and out. This year with the Pinnacle 4, let me see if I can do it the right way. I got 3 pockets back there, that's why I'm getting confused. Well, either way, whatever. Like in years past, there was a zipper down the back. This year, it's just one big pocket in the back with Velcro. Take this off. So this one itself, I know some of the other vests still have the zipper, but this doesn't have a zipper in it this year. So you got 3 pockets itself. You got your first pocket, as you see here. It's got where your bladder is going to be Velcroed into place, which I knocked mine out. So there you go. That's the pocket that's tightest to you. Then there's this other little pocket. It's really not too big. I just have it. A couple honey stingers, an emergency blanket in there. So basically, it's a little bit bigger than a hand. So my hand, to stash some stuff in there. And then you got this big pocket that goes the whole way down the vest. Now, when I say this is made for trekking poles and stuff like this year, no, it goes down the whole way to the bottom of the vest, but it's more of an angle. trekking pole in there real quick to show you. So it's more of an angle instead of being straight up. Because if it was straight up and down, like some other vests on the market, what happens is, you know, getting hit in the back of the neck the whole time that your trekking poles are in there. So with this being on an angle, which was actually smart on their behalf, and I'm very happy that they did it this way, is it keeps it on the side of your your shoulder. Yeah, so it'd be on like my left hand shoulder the way it's angled. So that way, as I'm running, the trekking poles aren't hitting me in the back of the neck the whole time, which would be really annoying. So with this being out of the way, as I'm running, no matter if I'm running uphill, downhill, or flat, it's going to be off to the side, so sticking up. So a very smart design, but again, it's only on an angle. It's not, you're not going to be able to like go straight down or go to the other way. It's only on an angle, specifically, I want to say specifically made for trekking poles this year. I think they just call it like a kangaroo pouch or something. I don't know which one's the kangaroo pouch, whatever they call it, but it's a very nice feature. And with the black diamond distance Z trekking poles, as you see, once they're in the full way, folded up, they really don't stick out that much. So that's another factor why it's not going to hit you in the back of the neck, because they do shove down pretty far if you do it right. And what's also nice is since it's the outer pocket, it keeps you from having the poles just like rub up against your back the whole time. More so if you have a bladder or anything else in the first two pockets, it's going to keep the trekking poles away from your body, so you're not having them jab you in the lower back or just in general rub you in the back anywhere at all, since they are in the third outer pocket. Another smart design by Nathan this year. But you will notice them just a tad if you don't have anything in the first two pockets. But of course that also depends on how you have them laid in there. If you have them more like laid flat, say since they're a Z pole, say 3 across, so each one, so it'd be like 6 across. Or if you just have one, it would just be 3. If you have them that way, it's not going to be as noticeable. But if you bunch them up into like a little bit of a ball, I notice you will feel the trekking poles just a tad bit more. So keep that in mind. It's a little trick that I found. But the bladder area itself obviously goes down the whole way to the bottom of the vest. So you do have actually a lot of more storage in there as well, just to throw whatever you might need, like another rain jacket, some more food, some more maybe a pair of gloves, a neck gaiter, some arm sleeves, whatever the case may be. You do have room in that first big pocket where the your bladder sits. Obviously, if you're not taking a bladder, you have a ton of room. Let me see if I pull mine out real quick. So yeah, you have that much more room in there, plus another liter, I would say, to throw stuff in. Not to be a pain because it's out. So just think ahead what you're going to carry with you, what you want to carry with you. Obviously, less is more, but if you're going to be running a bunch, running overnight, you might want a lot more gear, per se, but who knows. Take my trekking pole out. But one of the reasons why I like Nathan vests, at least the Pinnacle, and even why I like the crawls, they're form-fitting. So it stays tighter to my body. I like things tighter to my body when I'm running instead of more loose. So this is another one of those form-fitting vests. I don't know if you can tell now. It's very tight and it's very ergonomical to my body. so that helps when I'm running as well. So being tight and ergonomical to my body, I don't have to worry about bouncing as much, even in the neck area or in the chest area, because I can always adjust these up and down. Sometimes I have to adjust them up and down depending on how much gear I have that day, and how things are going. So it is very adjustable on the fly. You just have to make sure you pay attention on the website what size to get. Sometimes it can be tricky, so don't hesitate to ask them questions about what size maybe to get. I believe you measure like right at your sternum, the whole way around. I think that's how you get the measurement for this one. I'm actually like an extra small, and I usually wear like medium shirts, so just make sure you get the right size and you're not just going by your shirt size. But also, like this year, I believe they said this is 30% less weight and it's more breathable as well. I do notice that there's a lot more mesh in this year. I don't know if you could see the mesh here. This wasn't there before. It was pure fabric, and up here in the shoulder area, it's all fabric-y, and even down the back. So it does weigh a little bit less than previous Nathan models, and it's a lot more breathable than previous Nathan models. And even in the front, you can see it's got some more mesh. I don't know how much that really helps in the front, but I think the way the mesh is in the back, see right here, it helps it breathe out the front. So that's very nice. Trying to think what else real quick. Oh, you do got the two side pockets as you normally would. You got one small one, which is maybe, finger length. But then you got this bigger one, like another hand one here. It does go up a little bit on this side. Then you got another small one on this side. It's like finger length. And then this one, I'm trying to think what side it is. It'd be on your right hand side. This is where your trekking poles and stuff would come down. So you got to watch, because if you're gonna have trekking poles, you really can't use this back one on the right hand side. It's more or less unless you're gonna stash something small real quick into it. Otherwise, you're really never gonna use it from the right hand side. There's plenty of storage this year. Again, this is a 4-liter one. I think it's anything and everything that you would need to have for like a 100-miler. You should be able to fit into this. I guess the one complaint I do have is the reflective material that's on here did come off a little bit, and it does come off very easily. You can see it's peeling. I know they say do not machine wash and only hand wash, but let's be honest here. Everybody's going to throw it in the wash because we're all lazy. We're not going to hand wash. So after a couple of times of actually using it in the washer and dryer, the reflective material that did come on it is going to peel off. Not that it's a big deal. Unless you're running along the road at night, then you might want it, but most of us are going to be wearing a hydration pack at night on a trail, so it's really not a big deal that it comes off. But I guess that would be a complaint. But other than that, I'm very happy with it. Over the last couple year models, like I think the improvements of the 2 zipper pockets in the front, being able to stash trekking poles in the back now, and making it more breathable and a little bit more lightweight, really sets us apart from previous Nathan models. So if you haven't had a Nathan vest before, definitely check out the Nathan Pinnacle 4-liter. And if you had Nathan vests in the past, give this one a try. If you're looking for a new one, I've worn mine out so I had to get a new one, and I was looking for more options, and I've been waiting for them to come out with one with 2 zippers. So I'm very pleased that these are both waterproof zipper components, so I can now switch my phone in and out depending on that. Because, you know, like I wear a watch and I wear an MP3 player on usually in my left arm, so I want to sort of even out the weight. So that's why I always wanted to switch over to the right hand side. Before it was only like the left hand option. So having the option now is very nice. Plus, it just seems more symmetrical in general than some of the previous models. Again, it does hold 2 20-ounce flasks and like a 2-liter bladder in the back. The Pinnacle 4, at least the model that I got, came with the 2 flasks. I'm not sure like what all models do, but the one I bought had the 2 20-ounce flasks. It has straws that are straight. I just replaced these straws, so that's why they might look a little bit more different than what you might get if you order one. But I will say this flash stay in place. They don't bounce at all. So you shouldn't have any issues with that if you're using them. Or the bladder back, as long as you burp it, it's going to stay in place as well, because the vest, again, is form-fitting, so it's going to stay tight on your body.